Hey y'all, peace and blessings. Come on in, come on in. Peace and blessings, everybody. Appreciate you for coming on through. Let's give some folks some time to come on in the room. I hope everybody's having a great day. I'm gonna put you on just a real brief intermission because y'all know I got the ADHD thing and I multitasking on these technology devices. I have my limitations, okay? So if just give me a second, it'll be less than 20 seconds. I'll be right back. All right. Okay, y'all. Thank you for your patience. Yes, yes, yes. Come on in. Come on in. We got some things to talk about, y'all. I got triggered today and I gotta go live, okay? Listen, and I love listen, y'all know me. If you know me, you know me. So you know my chat know, my minds know. If I probably won't be reading too much of the chat, or I'll have my my little intervals where. But right now, I there's some things I got to get off my chest, and I don't want no distractions. Love everybody coming through. And if you are easily offended or you don't like to take responsibility, it is more than okay for you to skip this stream, okay? Because I might trigger some other folk and I won't take it personal. If you need to bow out, just do it respectfully and gracefully, and all is well. So I'm just getting the house cleaning out the way, y'all, because we going to get off into it. But at the end of the day, I'm all about giving off what I know, spreading gems that I feel like either have helped me or will help me if I implement them. Okay. I'm speaking specifically to my mommies out there that have sons, and they're raising sons. And this can apply to married folk or single folk. I'm talking to all parents because at the end of this day and every other day, our kids are what matter at the end and should be mattering at the end of the day. I'm not caring about nothing else. Okay. And then as well, moms that are raising daughters. Okay. Because when I talk about living long enough to have seen the level of modesty deteriorate. I was going to say evolve, but that's not the proper word in the context that I want to use. For the purpose of this video, we don't have any modesty. People are not teaching it. I'm talking about collectively. So hit dogs holler, then it applies to you. If it don't, share the video, share the like, right? Share the information. So this has been on my mind for some time now, and I'm feeling some type of way about, and I know people work with what they have, the tools that they have, the resources or lack thereof. I show grace all the time. I have empathy, I have sympathy, but there comes a point where enough has to be enough. Okay. You definitely have moms and dads out here, whether they're doing it in a marriage situation, a co-parenting situation, okay, or single parent situation. Okay. So all of us, if you have children and if you participated in bearing and bringing forth life outside of your own, you are considered a parent, and therefore your life does not be remain and sustain on its own. You have to think about your children. Y'all put a one in the chat. It looks like my signal of something's going on. I don't know if it's StreamYard or if it's my signal. So put a one in the chat if everything is coming across good. Put a two if it's buffering or cutting out or whatnot. Please. One in the chat if it's good, and two if I'm having technical difficulties. Because if it's just on my end, I can live with it. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Peace and blessings to my beautiful chat. Loving my blue folk. Thank you for my green members. I appreciate the super chats. My sis, your thought and came. Support. That part. Thank you so much, Laverne. I appreciate you. And we got Rare Money in the building. Thank you, Rare Money. I appreciate you. Yes, salute to you as well. And thank you for being or deciding to, open the ear gates for good old Miss Kimmy. Little old Miss Kimmy, right? I appreciate you. Thank you, honey. Okay, so everything's good. All right. We have your life is not your own. We have to get to a point, and you have to be intentional about raising children. We got too many folk out here raising children for checks, for support, for sustenance, for security, to me, which is, it's all an illusion in the first place. But okay, I digress, right? My thing is, though, is that you should not be having children for superficial reasons. You should be intentional, and you should be ready to sacrifice. If you are not, then take the proper steps in order to prevent life. I didn't say take it once it's formed. I said prevent it in the first place. I want to make that abundantly clear. Okay? Take the proper steps and measures to secure the fact that you will not create life until you become intentional and willing to sacrifice life as you know it without children forevermore before you start producing and reproducing. Okay? We got too many folk out here doing this shit for the wrong reasons. We got too many folk out here with improper hearts. They're not being educated. They have no foundational principles. Out here, we should not be able to reproduce if you ain't ready. I wish there was some law, some way, somehow in place to at least minimize that, because it is like we are raising a lost generation. That is the harsh truth of it all. I don't care. I'm looking at it. I'm watching it. I have been here 5 generations plus, long enough to see it transform and to deteriorate and to disintegrate. When that's the whole reason we're here, is to live on through the seeds that we produce. Why aren't they our biggest investment? Why are they a happenstance? Why are they a mistake? For some. So what? They weren't born under the most ideal conditions. Most of them aren't. But you are the starting point. And the reason that they make decisions that they make in life when you no longer here breathing. Whatever you poured into them or you did not pour into them is going to manifest. And that is how generational curses are created and transferred down. I am so glad And I say this in the most humblest way. I am so glad that I'm almost, my baby is almost grown. Because I'm going to tell you something. I am sick of going out in public with a minor child, somebody that when he's home, as well as my oldest, when we are in one another's presence, I pour into my children. I have sacrificed willingly so many different things and decisions in life to make sure that I am the best version of myself, because they are looking, they are watching, and they are emulating. Whether they got daddy in the home or they don't, whether it's a son or a daughter, you are their mother and their first point of contact. This should not be going on. We have young ladies, when I take my son out to a grocery store, we couldn't even go to a movie theater. We can't go to an outside public function. All I see is naked women. I'm talking about grown women and young women, because those grown women more than likely are raising their daughters to follow the very example and the very way they present themselves in life, out in public, in private, all of that. As a mother that really focuses, and I'm concentrating on, and it's super important to me, one of the most important is to make sure that when I take my last breath, I go in peace. And the only way I can really go in peace outside of my relationship with God is making sure that I did what I could, and that once I lay my head down, my kids, they're going to be good. That's all I care about. That's what they call legacy, right? We have got to do better. What used to be the majority is now the minority. We used to have shame. We used to feel bad. We used to use discretion. Even if you went against your better judgment, you at least sat and thought about it for a minute or two. Or depending on how big the situation was, it could go as far as a day or two. But the fact and the important aspect is that you actually sat and you considered it, or you thought about it. We got too many mamas out here. I'm not saying that the struggle isn't real. That's not what I'm saying. It's not for the weak or the faint of heart. Mothering is one of the biggest rewards, but it requires so much of us. Okay? We got to get it together. And that goes for grandparents. That goes because for everybody, there is somebody looking at you. They are watching you. You are the person that they have chose to set the example that they will follow. What do you want what kind of weight do you want on your head? I'm tired of walking with children that should not be exposed to everything, everywhere they look. We are in Sodom and Gomorrah. And I mean that, and I said it because I believe it. But I have to do my part in saying that this ain't right. This is not right. We have to do better. More of us have to do better. More of us have to make better decisions. More of us need to be intentional about raising children, about furthering your legacy, teaching self-respect, perseverance, the value of hard work, the difference between entitlement and self-sustenance. You are supposed to be giving, we all are supposed to be giving the best of us to our children, not what's left over. When you know better, you do better. Just like there's bad information out there, there's also good information out there. Depending on what you're looking for, you can find anything that you want at your fingertips. What are you pushing that search engine to look for? And how, I don't care how it's going to impact you. You are irrelevant. How is it going to impact your children? Being selfless is a requirement of being able to bond with your children. Your children know when they're invested in, they know when they're important, they know when they're loved, they know when they're nurtured, and they know when they're not. You will be held accountable for every decision you make regarding life. But I believe in my heart of hearts that God feels some type of way about you messing with his children. He assigned you to be the steward, the good steward over what he brought forth. It ain't all on you and me. We are just vessels. You mistreat that and you discard the importance of that, nothing else matters. You're not going to yield good fruit. You're not going to get good results. And then I hear so many parents talk about how their children are alienated from them. You can't fix your mouth to tell me that you're not at fault. You can't fix your mouth to not hold accountability. It starts and it ends with us as parents. Okay? If it's in you, it's in you. I'm not trying to convince anybody. You know why you had those children, why you made the ultimate decision to follow through from A to Z until they were here. Only you know. That's between you and the God you serve. Just know that uniformly across the board, we are all going to be held responsible and accountable. We have lost our sense of modesty. We live in such an over-sexualized culture. One of the biggest challenges that I have had to face, but I trust and I see the outcome of my efforts and of me being intentional, me and dad. But I'm their first point of contact, right? When it comes to mom boys or boys mom, whatever the order is, we teach them not only how to treat women based off of us, our behavior, everything that I named and mentioned prior, as well. Let me get my thoughts together, y'all. I got my brain moving a mile a minute, so I got to slow it down. Bear with me here. Not only do we teach our boys how to treat women, which actually their father should be doing that, but we teach them indirectly by being the first point of contact, which is going to be the judge of all women that he either looks at, he judges, or he acts a certain type of way with, right? My point being is that it is really up to us, and we only got one chance to get this right. I and many other moms in my tribe and people that I know, people that I've come across all walks of life, when we get to the conversation of talking and speaking on children, there are many of us. We don't invest and pour so much of us into our children for them to go out and be mishandled, mistreated, whether it's knowingly or unknowingly. We don't like that. Don't mess with our children. Don't mess with our children. Leave them alone. If there was one reason why I would just like, when it came to the political aspect of it, I had an issue with the last administration, is when they started forcing that. Even they've been doing it, but now they're out in the forefront doing it. They don't stop hiding and doing. Now now they in office. Now they in the hospitals. Now they coming out the woodworks. Now they coming from behind closed doors. And they're in our children's libraries. They're in their computers. They're their teachers. Where do we draw the line to what teachers teach our children? I personally, if they had sex education available for my sons to learn, I would say no, that's not your job. Now, when it comes to learning about the anatomy of the body and the purposes of functions, I'm all for that. But when you start talking about decisions being made and tying the emotional aspect off into it, that's a negative. That's not your job, but they're everywhere. The messages, the agenda, the intent is everywhere. If we don't protect and guard and educate and prepare our children, what are we doing? Why are we here? And what purpose are we serving? What purpose are we serving? Because frankly, there's different facets to Miss Kimmy. I can be 9 different people in the set, and a couple of them might be a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but they the ones that pop out the least, at least these days, okay? My point being, leave the children alone. Leave the children alone. Miss Yo, yes, life is not all about us. It's not. Not only is it not all about us, but until these children become self-sufficient and they're able to compete out in this ever-changing world, fast-paced, crazy-ass world we live in currently, what's the point? What's the point? We pour so much of ourselves into our children and pass along every good trait, many of us do, that was taught to us, and tried to shield or eradicate the bad stuff, just for them to go out there and be preyed upon. Leave the children alone. Not just my children, all of our children. If you're sick, go get some help. If you're emotionally out of tune, go get some help. It's okay to have some humility enough to say that I wish better for myself and the people around me. There's nothing wrong with that. To me, that's a sign of strength and not weakness, especially if you can't remedy or rectify the situation and the character defect on your own. All of us got things that we need help with our battles with. Every last one of us. They're just tailor-made for us to emphasize our strengths and expose our weaknesses. That's why the older people tell you, keep living. Just keep living. The longer you live, that's the biggest gift that I believe I've been gifted, because I got people close to me that haven't been able to reach the age that I am, much less in good health, in their right mind. Keep living. We need our generations. We used to have 4 and 5 generations alive at one time. That's another lie. What I'm saying is at least 3. We need that. We've been told we don't. We've been told that we can navigate in this life solo dolo. We don't need nobody's help. Nobody but Big Brother. The devil is a lie. All right, so I know I went on a rant. I don't care. We're talking about modesty. Modesty is not just how you dress or walk. It is your essence, because your essence is going to come out, whether it's voluntarily or involuntarily. It is going to show itself. How you carry yourself and how you dress is just the last form of expression before it meets somebody's eye gate. We don't value ourselves. Our children are struggling to value themselves because there are a lot of parents that struggle to value them because they don't value themselves. Whether they were never taught it or they just, life just beat them down to where they didn't feel like they had the strength to do so. And they're being consumed with other things. It's very low vibrational. Words matter. We have to breathe life into our children. I want to show y'all something. And I gotta be honest, I get triggered by shit like this because sometimes I get triggered by things that I can't relate to, I can't connect with, right? I can't relate. But it's all too often. Trying to figure it. There's two of them. Okay, so I'm gonna play this one. This one is a boy mom and her son. Look like a grown man. Look like he's of grown man age. He didn't get what he asked for Christmas. And instead of being appreciative and grateful and trying to understand the current situation of his family and their finances, this is how he decided to answer it. Now, I don't know if this was for the camera or not. It seemed pretty real to me, but we're going to roll with it anyhow. Let's go.
I don't care, bro. I don't care.
I couldn't afford a PS5. Okay, stop for real. I couldn't.
You're watching Rap House TV.
I'm talking to you. You doing all this because I didn't get you a game?
Yes, you told me you was gonna give me a PS5, bro. You never told me that, bro.
Bro, you are damn near 30 years old. You talking about somebody that buy you a PS5?
Your word is your bond. Start keeping your word, but you can't give me a PS5 because like you spent all this money on your son.
When did you get my son? When did you get my son?
I didn't get your son nothing. That's not my son.
You're watching Rap House TV.
You're not my son at the end of the day. So why should I be buying you a PS5?
Your son if you're not gonna get my PS5 like you told me last year. Huh?
All right, you know what?
Huh?
Don't even worry about it, G, because I ain't gonna lie. All the
know,
shit
right?
you doing is petty.
I know, right? Now I'm petty. Now I'm petty because I'm breaking the toys.
And the whole world finna see how you
Now I'm
act.
petty because I'm breaking the
Your
toys.
ass almost 30 years old.
Now I'm petty because I'm breaking the toys, bro.
Okay, I can't watch no more, but if he's almost 30 years old, why are y'all even interacting like this? Why is this even a thing? He, without looking, if you'd have closed your eyes, you'd have thought that he was a good 9 years old. That's the behavior, in my opinion, of a preteen. Okay? Why? You teach people how to treat you. You put him on camera to shame him or to attempt to shame him. But what you did was you shared the light on your behavior and your level of acceptance. Say that one more time, Phoenix. And that could mean a multitude of things. Say that. My children reminds me of who I used to be. Absolutely. Your children are a reflection of you. You got so much of the population, if they saw this, a lot of them would venture to say that he was ungrateful, that he was unappreciative, that he was disrespectful. and what they think the consequences should be. I am looking at mom, because whether you are a single mom or you have another parental role and position in the home, he is 30 years old. First of all, I detect that there's a lack of a male presence up in there, because I don't know of any grown ass man that's going to tolerate that in the house. I just don't know. I ain't seen it. I ain't seen it. When I was 18, I had to have a game plan. By the summer of graduation, it had to be implemented. That is what I got. I got help and assistance and support as long as I was, progressing and evolving and going up. But I just kind of shift on the video. The original reason that I showed the video is because we have parents out here that don't know what to do. You cannot, none of us are given manuals. We're given examples. There is no right publication for everybody in general. That's not how parenting works. But if you are willing to learn and you are willing to sacrifice and be unselfish by understanding what being a parent means and what is involved and how deep it goes. It does look real, Mel Dub. Salute to you, brother Mel. I appreciate you. Oh, okay, yes. Nanani, blessings, peace and blessings to you. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. I don't think I mentioned it. I didn't do a long intro, but I did start a goal. So I'll give 3 memberships if the goal is met. No pressure. I just, like to set little bitty goals, and if they're accomplished or if they're obtained, then we move on to other goals, right? But thank you so much. I appreciate you, Nanani. And yes, it does look real. It starts at home, but we have a lot of parents that when they know they don't know, they don't go looking for a way to do better. They don't, that's a lack of investment. I'm going to keep using that word. Modesty is something that is instilled in our children. Instill means something that you constantly remind them of and demonstrate through your behavior. Let me tell you something. Parents that think that you can do stuff behind closed doors, and because it's not in the visible eye, in the physical eyesight of the child, remember something. Something so basic but so profound. That child came from your womb, moms. That child is a part of you. You can do something in another country, and they will pick up on it through energy. Okay? I digress. So let's see. That was my point, Mr. Kimmy, about mothers raising their partners and not sons to be husbands to someone else. Mothers raising their partners and not sons to be right. I got you. Yes, very great point. Yep. I'm telling you, it's one of the most rewarding positions and jobs it is a job. It is a job. I don't want to take the sensitivity out of it, but you can quit a job at a physical location and not go back, get that last check, and you ain't never got to see them folk again. You can't do that with your children. Different type of dynamic, different type of relationship. We also have to be positive around our children. I want to show this video next, and I'm making a disclaimer. If one of my mods can put a disclaimer in the chat, I appreciate it, because this may trigger some people. Okay, I'm just gonna say that. Let's just watch it.
I can't stand y'all even exist. Y'all is like so irritating. Like,
So give preface, this I would like clarification to see if this is indeed the biological dad. I saw this video a while ago. I don't remember everything that was said, so that may or may not be revealed to us when it plays. But my impression is that this is dad, and the mother dropped the children off over with the dad, and he doesn't want them there. So that's the context.
why did y'all mama even leave y'all with me, bro? Call her, see what she at so I can drop y'all off. I'm tired of this, bro. I could not spend no full day with y'all. Kids is irritating, bro.
We haven't even lived with our mom for over a year.
So what? It don't matter. It's just y'all. It's the simple fact that y'all is around me. I told y'all mama not to bring y'all around me. I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing to do with y'all.
We didn't.
He said, I don't want nothing to do with y'all. I told y'all mama not to bring y'all around me. For anyone that's watching this video, once the video or the live has been ended, I would love for y'all to put in the comments some opinions on this particular video, because this can be looked at from a lot of different ways. There's so many different questions with so many different outcomes. But I just wanted to clarify that this is how he's talking to his children. His children will come in contact with your children, with my children. He will, that child or those children, because if I'm not mistaken, I think it's a son and a daughter. So he laid down with this woman and produced 2 children, not 1, but 2. And this is how you treat them. And this is the outcome of you making an intentional decision on 2. I can see 1, but 2, you were intentional. Again, these children, upon the sound of this man's voice, will come in contact with your children or grandchildren at some point. So if you think that you just glad it ain't you, it ain't yet, but it can still touch you and your family's lives, your children's lives. This one incident, depending on the girth and the fortitude of that child listening and getting this type of treatment from him, will never be totally transformed. What's the word I'm looking for? Rehabilitated. It doesn't seem like they would. I won't say never. That's a strong word. It would take God and a miracle, in my opinion, my humble opinion, to get them to have a fair shake at life, because of the words and the disconnect and the lack of soul from this man that was allowed to procreate and bring multiple seeds, unwanted seeds, into this world.
We didn't say nothing. We just sitting back
So
here.
what? You just come on now.
We're just sitting back here. What are you
irritating?
How? Because we're
I told your mama, do not bring y'all around me. And she wants to steady pop up to my crib and drop y'all off.
Dad, it's 1 o'clock. We're hungry.
So what? That ain't got nothing to do with me. Call your mama. Stop asking me for money.
Did he just fix his mouth to say that ain't got nothing to do with him? Sir, your seeds are why these children are here. What do you mean it don't have nothing to do with you? What? Okay, I'm glad. Well, we halfway through this. I don't know if I can make it through this, but I'm going to try, y'all.
Got no money for y'all, only money for me. Okay?
Okay.
Like, what is wrong with y'all? Just, please stop talking to my car.
Okay.
And call your mama, see if she had to drop y'all off. Or call y'all grandma so y'all can get out my car. And what you crying for? You should be crying to your mama.
We didn't even do nothing.
Don't cry to me, cry to your mama. Your
We
mama
didn't
dropped
do
you off.
nothing. No. You were just yelling for you always doing this. You act like you don't like us. You don't want us here.
I don't want y'all here. I told y'all mama. I didn't want no kids. She still had the kids anyway, right? So that's on her. Don't cry to me, cry to her.
I don't know why. I wish I wasn't here. I wish I wasn't here.
Easy did it. That doesn't sound like a skit. That sounds like she is in despair. That doesn't sound fake. That sounds totally real. I've been fooled before, but not very often. So I like what I gotta go back up. Hold on. Let me go back up here and read a few of these comments. Hold on. I saw one. Okay. I wonder if these are really his children. Could the father know something the children don't? I know we living in a real world, but Laverne, let me just say this. I don't care if he does. I don't care if he does. They don't deserve that. They had nothing to do with coming here. That's between the woman that because if the possibility could be that they are his or could be his, that means he done been with this woman multiple times enough to give him some type of idea that he could have produced 2 children. Nobody should be talking to children like that under any circumstances, in my opinion. In my opinion, this is wild to me. And there's a part of me that would love for it to be a skit. But it resonates with me too wrong for it to just be a play or something for the video. So I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. Mel Dub says, my heart aches for the children, but part of me has been jaded to say, what did the baby mama do to him? He's just too weak to understand it's not the children's fault. That's my point. My point is whether you are the mother or the father. These children deserve better. They deserve, first of all, where have we lost the ability to bring children out of love? True love, in my opinion, can't be dispelled that easily. If anything, children should be born to fortify the relationship. At least that's how it was of old, or that's how it was presented of old. I'm telling y'all, people are having kids for the wrong reasons. We've gotten so far from Bible, scripture, principles, and foundations that everybody just out here willy-nilly doing whatever they want to do. When I say we in Sodom and Gomorrah, I mean that. I'm having a conversation with a handful of people that's actually interested in something that I have to say about our children. I'll take that. But it shows the minority has become a majority, and the majority is now the minority. So I wanted to get the negative stuff out of the way, but I always want to try to provide a balance, because, or where there's a problem, there's a solution type of thinking, right? And once I got to digging in the right areas and putting in the right keywords, my spirit started to lift. It makes it easier when you know that you're not alone, or that your efforts aren't going in vain. what to say, water seeks its own level, like minds. The sayings can go on and on. We fortify each other. We are attracted to people that think like us. Maybe not so much act like us, but act upon those foundational principles, the ones that really matter, the ones that really count, the ones that get it. And that ain't going to be everybody. The Bible talks about 2/3 aren't going to make it. That has never been more real to me than today. I see it manifesting. We all see it manifesting if we want to keep it a buck. Right? Give me 1 second, y'all. There's this mother and son. She's a boy mom. I think she's married too. I've seen a few of their videos. I subscribed to her channel immediately, and after the live at some point, I will put her and her son's handle, because I think they're on TikTok. At least that's where I got this video. And they've got a whole page, and I just love their perspective. And this rings out to the boy moms that actually invest in your children, take time with your children, give the best of you with your children, learn your children's love language. It's one thing to know your man or your woman's love language, but you should be knowing your children's love language. What? You can look that up. That is a real thing, and it will help you heal certain characteristics or defects in your relationships with your children. But the word that is constant is love. They have a love language, and this mom and this son absolutely get it. Let's go.
We listen and we don't judge.
Mom, we listen and we don't judge.
Addison, I know the rules. Okay. Sometimes when I used to come home from work, I would stop and get myself something to eat, and I wouldn't get y'all nothing.
Guilty. I am guilty. Oh my God. Okay, I ain't gonna stop it no more, y'all. But I just had to say, been there and done that, and we do feel guilty. At least I did. All right.
You know that.
We listen and we don't judge.
So a lot of times with like the bowls and forks, plates, spoons, you know, those things go missing. I do be throwing them away because it just takes too much, you know, when you be washing dishes. I'm just gonna throw it away. You listen and you don't judge.
We listen and we don't judge. You remember when you couldn't find the plugs to your PS5?
Mm-hmm.
I cut them up and threw them away. We listen and we don't judge.
So sometimes I would like, when I would come in, I would set your clock back like 3 hours late. You wouldn't know what time like I got in.
Addison.
We listen and we don't judge.
We listen.
She getting triggered, y'all.
We listen and we don't judge. You remember that time you wanted me to, you had to get up early and you wanted me to get those shoes for you? You wanted $600 and I told you I didn't have it? I had it. I just didn't see like spending $600 on a pair of shoes, Addison. That just didn't really make sense at the time. Addison, are you not paying attention?
Yeah.
Ready? We listen and we don't judge.
So those two wigs, you liked them. I wasn't really a big fan of them. I threw those away. They wasn't it. Yeah, I threw them away.
The ones that I accused Daddy of?
Yep.
Addison, those wigs was very expensive.
What
you didn't like about them?
It wasn't. It just wasn't you. I didn't like it. Threw it away.
Turning this off.
Listen. Okay, just that was refreshing to me. Listen and we don't judge. How she was able to level the playing field so no one gets defensive. We feel free to be able to communicate ourselves, to express ourselves without judgment, without being berated or corrected or, punished after the fact, right? So I like that, y'all. I really did. There's a couple of different, I'm going to briefly go through some solutions and some things that we can implement on how we communicate with our children, how we connect with our children. If you want to invest and you find the value in investing in your children, in your legacy, in your relationships with those that you gave life to, some of the best gifts you can give them, right? We have to get back to teaching character. We have to get back to teaching character. Hold on, y'all. I don't know what's going on with my Wi-Fi. I apologize. I don't know if it's coming across over there, but it's throwing me off a little bit. Okay, let me get back on track. So this is more than just about physical appearance. And this is why I think I get frustrated when it comes to looking at our young girls and our young boys. Boys sagging with their pants over, exposing their briefs and their undies. And then you got the girls, they just not leaving anything to the imagination. They are absolutely out of control. And I'm talking about as a whole collectively. Modesty. There's such a lack of it anymore that if you ask 10 out of 10 young ladies, I believe that maybe barely half, and that's being generous, in my opinion, would be able to give you somewhat of an accurate description or definition as to what modesty is, what it looks like, and what value it gives. They can't express things that they're not being taught. Again, if you're a grown boy mom, it is in my personal opinion that you're sliding down a slippery slope if you walk around naked around your child, or you leave nothing to the imagination and you lack modesty the way that you present yourself and dress around your children, whether you are inside or outside of the home environment. It starts at home. Everything starts at home and spills out into the rest of the world, depending on where they go. In my opinion, it opens up too many possible other portals, and I think it's confusing to our children. Again, these are my personal opinions. I have a right to my personal opinions. We got this social media thing that is out of control. It's like parental restrictions or guidance on these apparatuses don't even mean anything because they have apps to hide information from parents. Who's creating these apps and these avenues to keep parents in the dark of connecting with strange people that you've never seen in a child's place at a child's age, and you have no experience? Definitely not enough to be navigating across these social media platforms sight unseen. People tell you anything they want to tell you, and they tell you most of the time what you want to hear. These social media apparatuses tend, if you allow them to become your children's babysitter, they will babysit your children. Don't get mad when you lose your children to all of these different portals, to social media. We have to teach our children young. That is something, train a child in a way that they will go, and when they get old, they will not depart from it. It is a constant effort, a constant reassurance, a consistency is required. Children require consistency. We all do, but it's so crucial in their formative years. Moms of sons and daughters should be guiding their children to critically analyze and think on their own. That takes positive affirmation. That takes education. That takes reassurance. That takes parents actually sitting down and guiding their children, giving them conversation, putting them in a setting. That's why love language is so important, because when you understand a love language, then you know how to get them into a point where they receive you with an open heart, where the word takes hold and it plants itself. Okay? On social media, there is such a level of hypersexualization that it makes me wonder sometimes if the kids are more confused coming from homes that don't display those things. They get outside of the address that they put on their mail, and the world looks totally different. You're in a totally different matrix. We have to plant seeds. I don't care about how they got here. I don't care if mama in that, listen, I'm speaking from a point of view, whether you get along with the other parent and they're trying to sabotage you or not. I know the courts make it difficult for the fathers, especially so. I am not discounting that. However, I see it more often than not that, guess what? When parents and fathers and mothers want to really be a voice and in that child's life, they will find a way to do so. Some will have to go through different levels than others, but that child is going to see the truth at the end of the day. We don't have control over everything. We don't know everything. All we're responsible for, in my opinion, is planting the seeds and praying over it, watering it, so God will make it grow. Speaking of God, that has to be in our children's prayer life, in their walk. It has to be modeled to them. If you have a household where God is not present in it, or you don't welcome God in it through your understanding, and you don't make the basis of your family God, of your understanding, you allow your children to be super vulnerable. Super vulnerable. Okay? There is a way, but any accomplishment is going to manifest with a fight. Some fights and battles and wars are longer than others, more intense than others. If you keep God first in your family, small or big, it won't be hard for you to model respectful relationships, because those are the type of people you will interact with. We have to be intentional about every decision we make from every aspect and vantage point in our lives when it comes to the best welfare and outcome of our children, having half of a chance in such a fallen world. If you talk at your children and you don't speak to your children or have a conversation with your children, they're going to resent you for it. They are going to close their ears to you. And if your behavior does not match that conversation, they won't respect it and they won't digest it. You need to know that respect is earned. It's not just a cliche saying. Respect is reciprocal, and you get the best results when it's reciprocated. It's not just for our children to show us respect. We have to lead with respect. If you don't know how to talk to your children, go consult with somebody that can give you better tools to learn how to do so. Hey, Earth Day. Peace and blessings to you. Thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate you. You know what? Hold on one second. I thought I had pinned it, but I guess not, y'all. Give me 1 second. I appreciate you becoming a member. Pretty lady, thank you so very much. Okay, y'all, hold on. I'm coming. Lord have mercy. Okay. Oh, okay. And she gifted a membership. Amen. Thank you. Thank you so much. And does it say who got cutting? Okay, Cutting Edge was gifted a membership. Peace and blessings. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Kindly. And memberships are available. Definitely. I'm gonna do a members only live this by the end of this week. So now that I done threw it out there, I definitely gotta follow through with it. So if there's any topics or any thing that's pressing, or any questions you may have, don't you can do it in the comment section after the live is over. You can post them in the chat, because I'll go back and read the chat, right? And then definitely I appreciate you. So yeah, I'm open for topics. I'm not gonna make this too much longer. I just want to, make it full circle, exactly what I'm trying to convey. Make sure I get all my little talking points in. For those that are catching the replay, please hit that like button. For those that are here, if you haven't tapped it yet, I'd just be so grateful. I know it's a small number. I will take it, okay? And I'm coming up on 800 subscribers, y'all. So yes, yay for Mr. Kimmy. Listen, I'm telling you, I'm gonna keep plugging away at it. I'm gonna keep plugging away. But I appreciate everybody's presence and everybody for being here and for just being a part of my tribe, my little online YouTube tribe. I appreciate y'all. I really do. So I was speaking on the conversations and the relationship, being approachable with your children, leaving, it's a delicate balance. You don't want the children to be too, get too much wiggle room to the point where they feel they skew the line of respect. However, you don't want to close yourself off too much to be unapproachable, because they're going to get their advice from somebody. They're going to get it from somebody. Why not let it be you and the people that are vested and that are connected to these children? At least be their first point of contact. I know for mom boys, it is also a delicate balance and fine line when it comes to making a decision that if you are single, do I date? Do I introduce anybody to my children? Do I want to be in a relationship while my children are young or they're minors and I'm still responsible for them? Okay. These things are very, very important, but I do want to give this one relationship coach, I want to let her say her perspective. And I tend to agree with her because it's going to be the level of investment that's going to get the level of results. My personal opinion.
Love your sons. Don't listen to all of these naysayers that say that you can't do it and you need a man around, and it pushes you to chase a man to try to come in to help you raise your sons. Don't do that. That's the worst thing you can do. You raise your sons to the best of your ability and protect them. You can't trust every man with your son. And it's better that you don't even bring men into your home when you are raising your children, period. Stop looking for men and chasing men. You can make it on your own. All you got to do is believe in yourself.
Okay. Now, I happen to agree with her because that applies to me in my personal story. That's the decision that I made some years ago, right? I don't regret it, not a second of it. My children and raising them is my first priority. That's just my personal decision. I think that there are beautiful, like, bonus moms and dads. It didn't work out with the couple that produced the child, and say the father moved on and found another mate, started a different family or an extension of that family, and based off of how it was done, if it was done with integrity, with open communication, with mutual respect, it can be a beautiful situation. A beautiful situation. It takes a village. It's a lot of work for one or two people to be solely that child's point of contact, major influence. Your child and your children need a village. Get them in sports. Have them in extracurricular activities. Don't have them in your face all the time. Especially when they start hitting those teenage years. If you got them in your face all the time, they're going to be looking at you sideways anyway. Half of them got an attitude every time, or almost every time. Keep them busy. Keep them occupied. Give them options. Give them choices. Always give them a buffet of things that they can choose from so that they can make their own decisions and still have guidance in doing so. These are all investments in our children. Children know when they are loved, when they matter. And that's a basic fundamental emotion that if that need is not met, nothing else is going to matter. They're not going to get past that. You have to emulate what you teach them. Your actions and your behavior has to match and coincide with your words. So when you finally do say it, all you're doing is confirming what they've already seen. Have empathy. And remember when you were a child and you needed guidance and you needed compassion, you needed patience, you needed to be uplifted and poured into instead of berated or criticized all the time. Speaking on this, I need to refine some characteristics that I have. We all need reminders. We all fall from grace from time to time. Forgive yourself as God does and move on by changing the behavior, being mindful of it, making different decisions. You have to be who you say you are. You have to be who you say you are. There was a give me 1 second, y'all. Looking for a little, I had a post-it note up here. It was a thought that I don't even know what happened to it, but I ain't gonna worry about it. It's all good. So with that being said, I've rambled on long enough. I wanted to come through. Like I say, this has been on my heart. At the end of the day, you're going to have to put that hat on and wear it. Whatever that hat look like. If it's too big for your head, if it's too small for your head, if you took time to pick out something that fit, that accentuated you, that represented you in a good light, represented you well, what you put in, you're going to get out. Okay? I do have one more little clip, and this resonated in my spirit, and then we're going to close on out. We're going to let that be the conclusion. I am grateful and I appreciate all of the super chats. Ms. Earth Day with the new membership, as well as the gifted membership. My mods, thank you for dropping the disclaimer. Thank you for the respectful, as always, engagement in the chat. I appreciate y'all. I really do. And for any new subs that are subbing up, welcome, and I appreciate you as well, right? And I'll come back and conclude, but I do want to show this real quick, and then we'll head on up out of here.
Mothers have a huge impact on the type of woman their sons will pursue. How you speak to them, how well you respond to their emotions, how much respect you show them. All of that will play a part in who he chooses as a romantic partner down the line. My mother didn't curse at me, she didn't talk crazy to me, and there was no blatant attempt to embarrass me in public. She also respected me in a way that put my character in my own hands. She demanded that I be the man that I said that I was. She respected me into integrity. Every room she walked in, she commanded respect. And she never...
That's important. That is important because your children, I wanted to let him play, but I couldn't let that pass. Your children are going to watch how other people treat you. That is how, and I'm going to tell you something, right, wrong, or indifferent, a lot of times, or most times, how people treat you will be how your children treat you. Because again, you teach people how to treat you. And you do that by how you carry yourself. You interact with people. If you lead with respect, you will get it in return. But presentation is important because it's the presentation that's going to get you that automatic respect when you walk into a room without you having to say a word. You don't even have to move your mouth but to smile. He just said that. These are the things and the characteristics that he was taught. And this is his way of paying it forward and showing his gratuity, because now that he's a man and he's grown, he's understanding what it cost her, what it cost his dad, but he's speaking on his mom right now. If you're having a troubled teen, or, everybody's got emotional roller coasters that they're on, understand what goes with it. You have to know your child. If you know your child, then you will know how to respond when they go through certain phases, behaviors. They start responding differently. If you don't know them, you're not going to know how to deal with them. You're not going to be able to identify things that will make a difference on how you respond. Right? Okay, let's go, y'all.
Never made anybody earn her respect. It was naturally given. So certain women in my life as I was growing up were outside of my frequency anyway. So if you didn't speak the language of peace and respect, a woman their sons will pursue. How you speak to them, how well you respond to their emotions, how much respect you show them. All of that will play a part in who he chooses as a romantic partner down the line. My mother didn't curse at me, she didn't talk crazy to me, and there was no blatant attempt to embarrass me in public. She also respected me in a way that put my character in my own hands. She demanded that I be the man that I said that I was. She respected me into integrity. Every room she walked in, she commanded respect. And she never made anybody earn her respect. It was naturally given. So certain women in my life as I was growing up were outside of my frequency anyway. So if you didn't speak the language of peace and respect, I couldn't hear you no way. You can't.
Boom. Because that's what he was taught. That was his norm. That was instilled in him from when he was young. It took hold. So now that he's grown and he's gone far from being a child, he did not stray away from that. That was his barometer. That was his gauge. You don't exemplify certain characteristics my mama taught me, good or bad, I'm looking sideways because I don't know nothing about that. That's foreign to me. That's not what I was taught. That wasn't what was emulated or displayed to me.
Curse me out and think I'm gonna stick around. I came from a home where my mother spoke life into me. You think I'm gonna go to a home with a woman that's speaking curses? Men learn what the love of a woman is supposed to look like through their mothers. So if you want him to choose a good woman, be a good woman.
That part. Okay? And with that, we're going to close on out. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for coming through. Thank you for those that stayed until the end. If you're catching the replay, peace and blessings to y'all as well. Thank you kindly, right? Again, thank you to everybody. I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your day. Actually, what I'll do, because I have some time in case anybody, I just want to give the option. I'll drop the link. If anybody wants to come up, you don't have to be on camera. It's all good, and I'll go off camera. Okay, thank you, Shay Love. I appreciate that. Thank you for coming through. Yes. Peace and blessings. I'll give it a couple minutes, but definitely we just got to do better. We just got to do better. And, I said all I wanted to say. I'm open to listening if anybody else has a pressing thought or something that's on their heart that they want to get off. Outside of that, I'm good. I appreciate you. I don't know. I love peace. I appreciate peace. And when my kids are good, my family is good, my loved ones are good, People I'm connected to are good. My peace doesn't solely rely on other people, but it really contributes, because what you give out is what you're going to receive in return. And it's going to teach you how you're treating other people. It's going to teach you where you're falling short and what your weaknesses are. It's going to also teach you what your strengths are. That's important. It's going to teach you what your strengths are. So, all right, y'all. With that being said, peace and blessings. Have a beautiful rest of your day. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next chat. Now, peace.